All right. So the more I think about it, the more I realize that some of my farm CEO members, and those of you who are not even farm CEOs who are into business, you do not really believe that you can do international business, that you can ever be approached by somebody out of, a lot of you are just so used to doing business locally with people that you know in your environment, in your culture. You've never had to deal with somebody from a different part of the world reaching out to you and saying, listen, I'm interested in buying your product or paying for your services. You've never had that. Or if you've had it just once or twice, it's not something like it's a regular thing for you. So you probably don't believe it's possible. Anyway, my goal is to help as many people as possible, all right, within my network and my circle of influence to experience that feeling of having people outside your immediate geographical location reaching out to you because they've seen your stuff on the web and they're interested in what you do and they want you to do it for them and they're ready to pay. All right. Incidentally, over the last, I would say, is it 2, 3 months, thereabouts, I've been working with a gentleman who's been based in China for about 10 years. He even has a child in China who's half Chinese, and he's probably listening to this right now. And we've been working on building a web marketing system for him, a response generating web online presence that attracts manufacturers that are looking for buyers in the African market. So, and just like I told him when he told me some stories about what he'd been doing there, I told him, I said, man, you have so much to offer this audience on both sides that we need to just set up a web marketing system for you because when we set it up, you see what I mean. I believe that people are literally going to be beating your door down from China. And I knew particularly the response from outside Nigeria would be like that. The Nigerians take time to build momentum in responding to your offers. It's always like that. I'm talking from experience. Sometimes they want to see certain things before they decide to take it, and you cannot blame them. The environment is what conditions people to be like that. However, the ones from abroad, especially from Europe, America, and Asia, generally because their own societies are built more on a system that is reasonably predictable. Okay, devoid of insincerity to a great extent. Of course, it's still there. To everywhere there's corruption everywhere, but to a great extent, there's checks and balances. Yeah, they have checks and balances in their system, so they are able to trust those systems more, and so they reach out more readily to make inquiries about buying from people and all of that. So when they see, they're used to the platform of the internet. So when they see opportunities like what we are going to prepare for, I told the guy that what we're going to prepare for, and when they see opportunities like that, they will likely reach out. And that has not been to my surprise at all. That he's telling me, showing me how messages on WhatsApp. They use WeChat. We use WhatsApp, but they don't have access to WhatsApp. They have theirs called WeChat. So he has conversations on WeChat with people who are representatives of manufacturing companies in China. They're reaching out to him through Facebook, through WeChat, through the websites, and it's been exciting. And now he has had his first video interview. That was one of the things I told him we would do. I told him to request for that to happen, where we would be able to use the video interview to verify the claims of whoever was reaching out to us and to screen out people who are potentially, because they do have their own dishonest people there. They have people that do a lot of this internet fraud. They've defrauded a lot of Nigerians. He's told me several stories. So we needed to also find out if they were legitimate businesses. So one of the ways was to demand that that person reaching out would do a video, live video, impromptu, of the factory and let us interview the owner and all of that. And he actually did that first interview, and it was exciting to see the recording. I told him how to get the software that we used to record the entire interaction. And what I'm trying to say in this recording here is this: if you're somebody that's thinking it's not possible, this example, I know because this guy has been to China, you might say, okay, because he's been to China, but the people that he was dealing with in all this interaction we're doing now are not people he knows. He's never met them before, and he's right here in Nigeria right now. So what we're doing here, we're dealing with complete strangers, and that's the same reality you are going to have to face. The thing you're going to be dealing with, approaching or reaching out to complete strangers with your marketing messages, response generating messages. So the idea is, how do you handle them when they come? That's really what this recording is about, and it's a short one. And what I want to tell you is this: I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. You have to develop a system to screen out people who do not fit your target audience profile, many of whom would what I call time wasters. Right? So the system you need to have is one that allows you to check. You have in your mind, or you have written out a checklist of what you need to these people that you want to sell to have. So they have something they want to sell to the Nigerian market. In the case of this, my Chinese-based guy, China-based guy, and all of that. They have products they want to sell. They have factories of their own, so they are not agents for the factory. They are the real people who own the factory, who own the products. So it's not dealing with middlemen, right? That kind of thing. So we want to be sure of what we're presenting to the Nigerian buyers. Both parties want to be sure that they're dealing with somebody, okay, an agency or a company here in Nigeria that is trustworthy, so that's going to present them in the right manner, and it's going to connect them with people that are authentic buyers. The buyers are hoping to be connected with authentic sellers. Now, if you are going to use the web to try and, if you're interested in that, I'm just trying to say, one of the things you need to do if and when you begin to get inquiries, in fact, sometimes you may even get an inquiry even though you didn't do any specific web marketing for your brand, but maybe somebody who is known to you, or who has known you or benefited from your product or service, is abroad, mentions you to somebody else who is based abroad, and the person reaches out from there. The person may or may not be a Nigerian or someone from your country, but the person reaches out and wants to buy from you. What do? I would say, and I'm talking from my personal experience, it doesn't follow that you have to do the same thing. If you're sure of yourself, you go ahead and do whatever comes to your mind. But here's my recommendation. Because you don't know that person from Adam, you do not know how the person, for the most part, you do not know how the person found out about you. But if you have a web form like mine, or you have a marketing message like mine, the person would have been told to reach out to you by supplying some information upfront. What country, WhatsApp number, stuff like that, full name, stuff like that. Then I do my own background checks. Why do you need to do a background check? Sometimes the message is from somebody who's engaged in a lot of naughty activities. Let's put it like that. Some people are people that are engaged in a lot of spam related work. They do a lot of spamming. They are internet spammers. They go around harvesting email addresses, and they send you messages. So the thing is, you got to be sure what's the source of your message. Sometimes they are not like that. Sometimes they may be doing that, but they will deliberately write you individually. It doesn't follow that they are for real. So you've got to be careful. There are people who will offer, for instance, that they will pay you for them to put content on your website. The question is, how do you know that the content they put today will not be modified? That by way of the link that's on it to lead to a place that will hurt your brand later on. I'll give you an example. Imagine if somebody comes to you and says, "Oh, we'll pay you $200 to let us, oh, your website is lovely. We think you have a target audience that is similar to ours, and we'd like to put some material here that will give us some marketing exposure." People do that. We do content swapping, and they pay you for it. And they pay you $200, and then 3 weeks on, you find out that the link they put at the bottom of what they posted on your website, what you agreed to post, is linked to a pornographic website. How do you deal with the lashback that's going to happen to your brand? Because some people will go to your website and click that link and get taken to a pornographic website. That will look like a direct endorsement by your brand. Now, if you have very high ranking in Google visibility, by way of Google visibility on the first page of results, that maybe relate to your keywords for what you sell or what you do, imagine what happens then when the Google robots discover that you are linked to such adult content. It will have a downward impact on your visibility. You could actually get thrown to the second page, if not worse, if your page doesn't even get completely removed from results that are thrown up. Because by default, Google is on safe search mode by way of keeping out adult content. It's not generally something that will come up in Google results. So if you are linked to it, therefore it's going to put a downward spin on your visibility. So the thing is, you have to check for that. You have to be sure. Don't because they're going to give you $200 or whatever offer they make to you, you decide to take that kind of risk without checking. You've got to do a check, and you've got to be able to do checks that you can really be sure are thorough. If not, don't take it. Second thing is, people are somebody reaches out to you, or a group of people, or many people. How do you know what to tell them to go forward to the next stage? For instance, somebody makes an inquiry. He asks for a lot of information. It's going to take you some work to put it all together to respond. The person is indicating interest in buying. He's even asked, what's the price? How do you know if it will be worth your while to go ahead and put all together all this information? For instance, somebody might tell you, I want a proposal because we're interested in hiring you to do XYZ. Who tells you that proposal they're asking for, if you do it and send it to them, they are going to come back to you for anything else? You have no way of knowing because you don't know them. It's not like you had a discussion before, but they come to you and say they heard about you from so and so place. All right, what's in it for you? Why should you go and write a proposal? I stopped doing proposals over almost 1.5 decades. In fact, let's be honest, I think probably the first 2 years was when I did proposals, between 2002 and 2004. And each on those two occasions that I did proposals, it was a total waste of my time. The first time was the bank called Standard STB, Standard Trust Bank, and the gentleman, his name was something Sadana. I can't remember his other name. And he just used me. At that time, I was looking for a facility. I wanted to apply for a grant or a loan. I can't recall now, to start up a catfish farm. That was my dream then when I started. I wanted to have a catfish farm of my own, and I wanted to be able to buy the land and all that. So I was applying for this loan I heard about, and I went to him at the bank, and I asked about details for applying for that thing. I think it was a facility they were offering at that time, and he told me I needed to do a proposal. So I went and spent about 3 weeks with my mentor at that time. I was working on his farm, and I sat with him, and I was able to get information to put together an elaborate business plan in form of a proposal. It wasn't a business plan proper. It was more of a proposal, like I said, kind of like a feasibility study to proposal. And I did it all. Oh God, I had statistics in there. I had tables of what they call it, summary tables, covering about 4 years, if I recall correctly. Then I took it, printed it out with money. My God. And I went to him. It was the worst experience of my life. He collected it from me and told me to come back the week after. Believe me, when I went there, the first day I arrived there on Monday, I was told, in fact, first of all, the way they bounced me was crazy. They had always received me well, but that day the security guys just bounced me out. It was clear they received instructions, and then I called him on his number. He wouldn't pick up. The number was ringing. He wouldn't pick up. He never called me ever again, and I never got through to him ever. He collected that document from me, and that was what he wanted from day one. He just strung me on, telling me about how he will submit my papers and all that for the loan. It never happened. The reason why I'm saying this now is that you've got to be careful. What do you invest your time in? How do you know it's going to be worth your while? You've got to be able to check that and decide. Nothing stops you from going ahead and honoring a request for such a thing. But how do you know that those people have the right, the intentions you have in mind? We're not saying they must give you a loan. They must give you what you're asking for. They must buy from you. But to a great extent, let's be sure that they're sincere, so that the experience will be a worthwhile one. Not that you're wasting your time and somebody's just using you. Because people do use people. You write a proposal, you submit to a company, they take it, they dust it off, retype the whole thing, or if not, they can ask for the electronic copy from you, remove your name and put their name and submit it somewhere else and get what you were trying to get. Sometimes they even get you to submit it and then they remove your name and put their names and they get the facility you are trying to apply for. These are things that happen in Nigeria's space. So I'm trying to say, it doesn't mean that it can't happen from other parts of the world too. Be careful. So if they call and reach out to you, you've got to have a way to check. Okay, some of those things I do in terms of how I screen, I can explain. I teach my clients. I do it for my clients as well. You have to have a system. I try to use a system that doesn't require me to be involved. So it's a system that is electronic, it's a system that is web-based, and it's a system that's automated. That way, even when I'm asleep, that system takes them through that process and helps me to weed out the people that are potential time wasters. You've got to have a system, a screening system in place to help you weed out the potential time wasters, to deal with inquiries that you're having, particularly from people that you don't know. You see, people that you know already, that you have dealt with, are easier because you already know, oh, this guy, I know exactly what he wants. I've dealt with him before. So if you ask me to do this, okay, I can look at it. Okay, I can decide. But when you don't know people and they're reaching out to you for the first time and they're coming out to you from another part of the world, you want to say, oh, this is an opportunity to make an international client connection. The thing is, how do you check and be sure that you're not wasting your time? I've had people from India reach out to me. I have people from Pakistan, from Algeria, from Tanzania, from Malawi. It wasn't all of them I responded in the same way to. I used the screening process to decide those ones that I would respond to in a manner that gave them what they were asking for and gave me what I wanted. And the responses they gave me often told me who I should continue with and who I should stop. There was a lady that I interacted with to a point, and I said, Madam, I'm sorry, what you're asking is not possible because you are refusing to do what I ask. This is what I ask is not too much. For instance, you are reaching out to me from another country. I'm assuming that is true. But I also know that I'm from a country where people can impersonate other people. They come on the web, they claim to be in one country, and they're actually next door in the other house to me. And they're wasting my time. So please, madam, can you please place a call to me for 1 to 2 minutes? Let me speak with you on your number on an international call. A call of 1 to 2 minutes cannot be more than $1. That's about 500 naira in Nigerian naira right now. Why would that be too much for somebody that wants to buy a product of sometimes $200 from me? Why would that be too much to place a call of $1 for 1 minute, 2 minutes to me? If anybody balks at doing such a thing, you know there's more to it than meets the eye. Why would it be so difficult to place that call? People make international calls all the time. Why would it be so difficult? So those are some of the things you can do. So if somebody comes up to you from outside your country and says they want to do business with you, get the person to place a call. It's one of the ways that I use to test to see if my clients or my prospective clients are worthwhile given the attention they even demand, because sometimes it's not worth it. All right.